satisfied. Be a simple kind of man. Be someone you understand. Be a simple kind of man. Do this for some in hand. I forgot this last lyric. To where we came from. Take your time, don't move too fast. Troubles will come, they will pay. You'll find a woman, you'll find love. Don't forget the sun, there is someone.
I feel like
something strange.
I assume this is mine. Why did they turn my volume down?
It's a mystery.
Hi, guys.
Good morning. How we feeling?
Good?
Somebody's had their coffee.
How was the concert? Woo is not an answer. I was looking for good or bad. Well, now I can't understand what you're saying because you're all saying different words at the same time. Just kidding. What's it? Awesome. I heard that. Amazing, fantastic, awesome. That all works. Something has happened since we saw you last. We have premiered season 15. Yeah. It was
Thoughts?
Great.
Thoughts?
Well, I'm sad because it was our last ever season premiere.
That's Jared for the last like 10 months. It's like, this is our last first day.
This is our last ever penultimate finale. This is our last summer hiatus.
Last Labor Day together.
I'm a Cancer. I'm a bit emotional, so yeah. This is our last ever first con after the premiere.
Yes. And we've got so much further to go.
Oh yeah. We got some cool stuff going on too.
Yeah, we do.
We are basically smack dab in the middle of episode 8 filming.
Yeah.
So we know some shit that y'all don't know.
I would hope so.
Tease. Okay, so it turns out
It was all a dream.
Just because you're from Dallas.
I would refuse to shoot that episode.
we've been in Dallas the whole time.
Not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen. But thrilled to be here. This has always been a special. Toronto on Canadian Thanksgiving has kind of been a staple, a trope of our lives. And so it's cool to be here. And it's cool weather-wise to be here because it's 90 degrees in Texas. So happy to be here all around. Before we jibber jabber, let's get to some questions. I see a fan. That was fast. That's like some ninja shit going on.
I didn't even have time to think about it.
Hi.
I was wondering if, for the finale episode, if we could get Jensen to sing Brother.
I was wondering the same thing. Thank you. Next question.
Yeah, the finale episode is just gonna be a
It's
music
just a
video.
concert. I'd watch it.
It's just a full-on music video. That's we should use that song regardless in the show. I guess apropos, but yeah, we're a long ways away from shooting that episode, so just cool it.
See, that's by the way, that also explains a lot about who Jensen is and who I am. I've been crying about the finale for years, and he's been like, we're not there yet. Got some months, got a couple months.
I mean, who knows? We might actually have an actual apocalypse and never actually get to shoot the finale, so let's not talk about it. Oh, wouldn't that be awesome if the zombie apocalypse happened in real life? I'm so ready for it. I really am.
We're both ready for it.
I don't have a bunker built. Do you?
I don't need a bunker.
I'm so ready for an actual zombie apocalypse. I don't know why. Maybe it's spending 14 years on a show that prepares you for it. But anyway, yeah, the show's the end show, the final show is a ways away. So I'm not thinking about it just yet.
I wanted to be famous when I was in middle school because all the girls had a crush on JTT.
So did you.
Who? But, don't pretend you don't know who Jonathan Taylor Thomas is. You had the same poster I did.
I want to say congrats to both of you for Walker. I heard CW picked it up.
CW, this is such a straight, this is very new to me. CW ordered the writing.
I'm not on it.
Thank you. It's not a show yet. It's
Don't let them screw it up because I'm a fan of the original, please.
I mean, I'm not gonna let.
That's the wrong way.
I wouldn't fuck with Chuck Norris. So let's be clear.
CW sometimes screws up reboots, so please don't allow them to do that.
We will protect. We are very protective of the story we want to tell.
Thank you. And Jensen, I've already pre-ordered the album. Congrats. But
Oh, shut up.
really,
Well, I promise I have screwed that up. So,
no, you have not.
no, thank you for that. Thanks. Yes. Yeah. Rainbow. You and the rainbow. I'm having coffee.
Good morning.
Morning.
So you guys lived this story before we experienced it, and so you can't possibly experience it in the same way that I do and a lot of my friends do, which is in a loop. So I'm never gonna put those boys in their box. I'm never gonna let them go, and I will never agree with them. When you guys have moved on to actually win awards because you're not in a genre that is snuffed, will you still love us?
I don't think either of us give a shit about awards. We'd rather have this here with y'all right now and a family. I wouldn't trade this for something on my mantle anytime.
I meant that you deserve accolades. You get our hearts, but
This is the accolade, though. But having some people you don't know that really don't know much about you either say like, I'm gonna check a box, means so little compared to having people who actually care about the story, care about the people, care about each other, raise literally millions of dollars for charities over 15 years. Take your award and stick it. Yes, I'll still love you, and I know you will too.
I had dinner with Phil Kreespa last night. Who was up here doing The Boys. And we were talking, I forget how we brought it up or how we came onto that discussion about like shows that win awards and shows that get recognized in that capacity. And I echoed what Jared just said. I basically said like our award is lasting for 15 years. Like there's not shows, award-winning shows can't say that. And I think that is that's the big get. That's the big award is success. And our show has succeeded because of you guys. So no, we won't forget about you because we can't, because you guys brought us here.
could you show us your tats? I meant the one with Jensen.
Is that an accent?
Oh, sorry. Let's be specific.
Show me your tats. Never mind. It's good. She was about to. She was unbuttoning. All right, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
Oh, it's okay.
Look at that.
That's what happens.
That's my first, yeah.
That's what happens when you go to
A wedding with your dad.
your father's wedding. The quick story is he had a tattoo artist.
As one does.
Jeff and Hillary they're a pretty cool couple, and it didn't surprise me that they would have something like that at their wedding reception. So there was a tattoo artist in the corner, and he had a little menu of about maybe 20 small designs. It's like a heart, and an arrow, or a candle, or a bat, or whatever. And so I was over there looking at it, and I think he probably thought he was going to maybe get to do about 10 or 12 people that night. He ended up doing, I think, close to 50. There were people that were, there were grandmothers who never had tattoos that were like, I'm gonna get one. It was like this domino effect too. Like I remember I was talking to this father of two. He had both of his girls there, and they were probably, I think they were maybe 8 and 10. And he was looking at the video. I was like, "You gonna get one?" He's like, "Yeah, I am." I'm like, "Cool. You obviously have tattoos." He's like, "No, it's my first one." I'm like, "Really? Which one did you get?" He's like, "My daughter picked out the candle." So, cut to, he's sitting there getting this candle put on his arm, and both his girls are just like,
He's like,
So I was standing there, and Jeff comes up, and he's like, "Dude, are you gonna get one?" And I was like, "I don't know." I was like, "Maybe." I was like, "The crown's kind of cool," and I didn't know that it was a Basquiat crown. I was thinking like, "Oh, it was King of Mardi Gras this year. Maybe I should get that." And he's like, "I'm gonna get that crown." I was like, "Oh no way! That was actually the one I was looking at." He's like, "Yeah, that's the only one that I asked them to put on the menu." I was like, "Oh, that's cool." He's like, "Dude, just get it too." And then about that time, Jared walks up. He's like, "You guys get one?" I was like, "Yeah, I think we might do the crown." He's like, "Well, me too. I'm in." And then I was like, so now we're the three kings. We call ourselves. But also,
we're actually Kongs forever is what we are.
It's actually a W for Winchester.
Yeah, there's a little hidden there's a lot of meaning, including the bard. Uneasy lies the head that wears the crown, King Henry. But there are a lot of different cool meanings that just made sense. It was time.
There you go. There's that story.
Okay. All right. Very, very serious question.
Oh, great.
Tell me one of the funniest or most entertaining ways you might have hurt yourself at some point in your life.
While drunk.
While maybe being overserved.
She was dancing on a bar.
You fell off a bar? Like full Coyote Ugly style?
I think I've seen videos on.
I don't want to party with you.
Do you have a funny way? I'm sure I do.
Well, I know you do.
I'll say this: the first ever bone I broke was my left arm hyperextends because when I was 7 years old, I was at my cousin's birthday party. We were playing popcorn on the trampoline where the smallest person sits in the middle, and they 1, 2, 3, and they 1, 2, 3'd me, and I kind of went this way, and I fell and snapped my elbow. My dad, being a Texan and the son of two people who served in the military, was like, "Walk it off." So, and my mom's like, "He's hurting," and so I'm sitting there crying. My old man is like, "You're good, you're good." Go to the doctor, and it's broken to shit. It's pretty messed up. So that was the first bone I broke. I broke a bone doing a stunt on Supernatural. I broke my scaphoid in my wrist.
Yeah, I've broken that one before too.
Quit breaking stuff. Come on now, you and I should just be in padded rooms.
I know, that's what, bubble wrap.
Is this an intervention? Yeah, so I just get hit in the back with a telephone and fell, and they were like, "Listen, we're not using this shot for you to fall," but I'm like, I got it. And when I went out of frame, there was a stuntman lying there, there was a cameraman here, there was a stuntman here, and there was a lighting set up here, and so I put my hand down, and I just basically, just snapped it. And I was like, this kind of hurts. And it was Bob Singer directing, and I'm like, "Hey, do we have to do it again?" And he's like, we're good. And so a couple weeks later, I got an x-ray and it was broken. And then the stupidest thing I ever did was challenge Master Chow to a wrestling match and try to tackle him and land on my elbow, which, Cliff, okay, thanks. That was also broken. Your turn.
I don't know.
You got nothing.
I will say last week, this was pretty stupid. We're shooting a big fight scene, and we're in this like roadhouse bar, and gonna squaring off with my foe, and he pulls a gun and starts shooting, and so I dive behind the bar. Which is fine, like they put some big pads there, and so, you know, when they were shooting it over his shoulder, I would just dive onto the pads. But then they wanted to get, then they wanted to get, what's that?
I didn't have pads.
Oh yeah,
I didn't have pads.
yeah, that's, oh, I'm getting there. So then they wanted this shot that was down on the floor looking at me, and that I would then jump right into. And then I realized that, oh, those pads aren't gonna be there anymore. And it's just a hard wooden floor, and they had the camera right on the deck, and I was like, well, I don't know where I'm gonna hit, so I don't know what to pad up, so I just didn't put pads on. But essentially it was me jumping from a standing position as high as I could get, so that it looked good, and then landing on my torso on the floor. And I did it one time, and I was like, wow. That hurt. That sucks. Going again? Good, okay. So I had to do it a second time, and it hurt worse. And but that whole day, then there was I'm supposed to get hit with a pool cue, and it was supposed to be a breakaway pool cue.
Oh no, supposed to be.
And it was not.
Oh no.
And so the pool, he's supposed to hit, it was supposed to hit right there in the shoulder and break, snap, and then it was, you know, to be used as like a stabbing weapon. So he hits me on the shoulder, and it does not break. It just hurt. And so I was like, oh! And they're like, wait, pause. And they're like, what happened? I'm like, well, it didn't break. That's what happened. So I look at my buddy, and I'm like, just do it again. It's bound to break now. I mean, we've weakened it, so it's got to break again. I was like, okay, go ahead, ready? 3, 2, 1, whack!
Oh.
Not only did it not break, it hit, and because now it was slightly loose, it snapped around and whipped my entire back. So I had a welt going all the way across. And you know when you get, I'd rather be punched than pinched because of the sting, right? And it was the sting. It was like one of those, I had to like walk outside and walk it off because it was just like. Yeah, needless to say, somebody in the special effects department got a tongue lashing that week.
And a pool cue lashing. That actually makes me think of another story. In season 3, I think the first episode was Magnificent 7, or there was an episode in season 3, Kim Manners directed, where Bobby Singer slams his Chevelle into a bar and somebody's drinking bleach. And they,
You got one that remembers?
Got her. So Kim decided to put the 6'5" guy in the back seat. And so I had to keep getting in, and so I was doing what anybody my size does, getting into a late 60s muscle car in the back seat of a 2-door, and like trying to squeeze myself in. And Kim's like, "You gotta go faster! You're on the run from whatever." I was like, all right. And so I just basically start launching myself into the car, and I'm hitting my head on the windowsill. And there's no weather stripping on it, and I keep on going like, man, it hurts, whatever. He's like, all right, we gotta go again. It's like, all right. And so I keep diving in and kind of hitting my head a little bit because that's the only way I can get in the car at speed. And finally, Jeannie Chow, who was our key hair at the time, comes up and she's redoing my hair, and she puts her hands through my hair and goes, I was like, what?
Not hair gel.
I was like, Jeannie, what? And she has in her hand a piece of my scalp with hair attached. Not a word of a lie. We still have it in the props lockout. It actually was part of my Crossroads Demon box. They were like, well, you're supposed to use a piece of yourself. We have your actual scalp and hair. But it was like a little dime-sized piece of scalp that she thought I was playing a prank. And so when she put her hands through my hair and scalp came off, And I was like, see, manners? Like, look what you're doing to me.
The best is that you didn't know. You're like, what?
Listen, when you're this tall, you hit your head a lot.
Is that my hair coming out?
That's why I have a big forehead. I just hit my head on stuff a lot. It's not.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So my question, I've been waiting like 2 years to basically ask you this. Okay, so in the beginning, when we're introduced to Jack, we see that Sam's more lenient towards him, he's more open, and then Dean's more like resentful, hates him because like Cass died and then Mary got sent to the apocalyptic world, right? So my question is, do you think that the underlining meaning of that could have been because Sam is Lucifer's vessel and Dean is Michael's vessel?
Interesting. Good question.
Thank you.
Sorry to wait so long. I feel my motivation while doing it, that's a great angle. I didn't think about that specifically when I was doing it. Well, not directly. So when Sam was talking to Jack, Sam was speaking from a point and a place of also being different or flawed, having some different part, because Sam had the demon blood from 6 months old. I think 6 months old. So Sam saw a lot of himself in Jack, and maybe that was also part of Lucifer. Sam had made some mistakes, and he was trying to do the best he could. It wasn't Sam's fault, it wasn't Jack's fault. So Sam came from a place of empathy, possibly in part because of the Lucifer vessel thing, but I'm not sure about Ackles.
No.
Well said.
Thank you.
That was mine.
Oh, yours are easy.
Used one word.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we see in the show a lot, whenever there's cowboys related to anything, Dean gets so excited and it's like so wonderful to see. Is there anything in real life that excites you guys like that?
Cowboys.
Go Patriots.
They took that right out of my own playbook. I don't know. What?
I think the only thing cool watches. Like if I see a cool watch on somebody's wrist, I'm the weird dude that walks up and is like, "Oh, I like your watch."
It's embarrassing.
Star Wars, Boba Fett, yeah, some Star Wars stuff to get me going. When I did Friday 13th 12 years ago or whatever, I was at New York Comic Con, and it was me sitting next to Amanda Rigetti, and we were in the movie together. And then there was an empty table, and then Lou Ferrigno was the table next to us. But the empty table, I was sort of like, I don't know what's going on. And then I looked at the sign on the curtain behind the signing table, and it was a picture of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Luke Skywalker and the stormtroopers that are, they're in their land speeder. And it said, "These aren't the droids you're looking for." And I was like, wait a second, who's next to me? And they're like, "Oh, it's the stormtrooper who said these aren't the droids you're looking for." And I was like, yeah. I met Timothy Zahn at a comic. Probably some Star Wars stuff, and like weightlifting and stuff like that. What's your name? Juliet.
Yeah.
How cool.
Yeah.
Hi, Juliet.
With 3 J's.
With 3 J's?
No, you, Jensen, Derek, Juliet, 3 J's. That's what
That was the weirdest spelling of Juliet I've ever heard.
Hey, Juliet, I got you, birthday girl. I got you.
Thank you, Jensen.
All right, that's it for us. We're going to see you guys in a little bit. Thank you so much.